Let's talk about art journaling with the moon for the week of June 26th to July 2nd, 2023. You might want to art journal with the moon alongside me. If you also happen to be a creator with big dreams, or an intuitive healer with big dreams, but you have a highly sensitive nervous system that tends to get bogged down by anxiety or overwhelm or self doubt. Aligning your inner work with the moon is a great way of getting that support that your nervous system really needs. It's also a great way of practicing your magic and getting clearer about your big goals and working with the new moon to help you manifest those goals and working with the full moon to amplify them. And then using the dark moon to dive deep into your shadow realm and clear whatever subconscious blocks need to be cleared and rewire your brain so that you are best supporting your intentions. This week, the moon is growing in power. So we passed the new moon in Gemini and we're moving towards a full moon in Capricorn. And that full moon is actually going to arrive next week at the very beginning in the mountain time zone. So this week, because we're in the season of summer, the focus that I've been really encouraging each of you to center on in your art journals is to focus on growing more good. Because in the Northern Hemisphere, we happen to be in that season of summer. We're working with that light and the growth of light with the sun and how it really wants to support you to shine your light in the world and to grow all that goodness. This week, because we're in those waxing, growing phases, and we have the moon happens to be having some good relationships with Mercury, the planet Mercury, and the planet Venus, which is currently in the sign of Leo. It's going to draw down some of that energy. And in your journal, we can work with the energy that the moon is going to draw down from those planets to immerse ourselves in good feelings. So I have some really great prompts this week to help you do that. Whether or not you take a lot of time to work in your art journal with these prompts, or you just spend 5 minutes to kind of sit with the lunar energy for the day and sketch down a couple images or work with your colors, or even just write down a few notes just to get your body and your spirit in line with the energy of the moon. So that's the focus this week. In this video, I'm going to share with you the prompts and the suggestions that I have for Monday to Friday, of what you can work with and the energy you can work with the moon in your art journal for each day. And then I'm going to share with you, which is I don't share anywhere else other than in these videos. I'm going to share with you where that lunar energy is going to be affecting you most, according to your rising sign. So if you have your birth chart, I have a YouTube video in my channel in order to help you create birth chart with the whole sign system, because I follow the whole sign system, because I really like ancient astrology and Hellenistic astrology, and they follow that whole sign system. So I work with that system. I show you how to create your birth chart. You will, when you create this, print it out, paste it into the front of your art journal, and you will refer to it over and over and over again, because it will help you get really clear on where the energy of the moon is affecting you personally in the areas of your life that it is most concentrating its energy in that week. This week, I'm going to go over the energy of Mercury in Cancer, because the Cancer part of your chart is really getting a lot of vibrant lunar energy this week. So I want to highlight that and explain to you what that means to you specifically. So enjoy that at the end of the video. Have fun art journaling with me, the moon, and I hope this information supports you in doing that. Enjoy. Lately, as we work with the moon in our art journals in order to practice magic and tend to our soul, we've been focusing on growing more good. One way of growing good in your life is by immersing yourself in good feelings, those emotions that feel expansive, open, flowing, and connected. The emotions that break down the walls around your heart and help you feel in flow with love and life. It's not always easy to immerse yourself in feeling good. Highly sensitive people possess a rich inner world and a deep capacity for introspection, but we also tend to struggle with self doubt, anxiety, and unworthiness. Our deep emotional dives can help us get to the root of heavy, challenging emotions so that we can transform them. And so the beliefs in ourselves improves and our anxiety lessens and our self-esteem and confidence grows. But what if we also used our emotional depth to immerse ourselves in emotions like beauty and purpose and meaning and awe? That's what I'd like to focus on this week as we art journal with the moon. We're going to use the phases the moon are in, the zodiac signs the moon is moving through, and the energy the moon is drawing down from the other planets to help us grow more good in our lives by immersing ourselves in positive feelings. Growing more good in your life involves consciously seeking and embracing emotions such as worthiness, awe, and aha moments. It means recognizing the beauty and goodness in everyday experiences and allowing them to shape your perspective. By consciously nurturing these emotions, you become a source of positivity in your own life and in the lives of others. Cultivating positive qualities not only enhances your character, but it also creates a ripple effect of goodness in your interactions and relationships. Immersing yourself in positive emotion also helps foster self acceptance and self compassion. By embracing positive feelings such as self love, worthiness, and confidence, you can challenge limiting beliefs and recognize your inherent value. This shift in perspective allows you to embrace your journey even when it's shitty and celebrate your unique strengths and contributions. But of course, please do not bypass your heavier, challenging emotions to get there. Feel, validate, and allow your heavy emotions as well. Your heart needs to feel those before shifting and focusing on the good. But then, when you're ready, immerse yourself in positive emotions, and that can be a powerful tool in managing your sensitivity. By consciously choosing positive feelings and creating pages in your art journal filled with positivity, you can create a refuge of calm and comfort that you simply have to flip through the pages to enjoy. At least that's what I hope we're able to create this week as we art journal with the moon. On Monday, we'll focus on how the moon moves in the sign of Libra and uses that Venusian energy to help you delight in beauty and learn more about what you find beautiful. On Tuesday, we use that happy relationship the moon is having with the planet Venus, who is currently in the sign of Leo, to grow feelings of worthiness. On Wednesday, we use the happy relationship the moon is having with the planet Mercury, who just happened to move into the sign of Cancer, to help you celebrate your past achievements. Sometimes it's hard to feel worthy of the things you want or worthy of achieving the goals you've set for yourself, but honoring your past achievements fosters feelings of pride and confidence. On Thursday, the moon is in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio helps us dive into our emotional depths. We use this energy to explore the deeper, feel good emotions like the feeling of awe. Finally, on Friday, the moon is having a happy relationship with the planet Neptune. Neptune helps you daydream and imagine. It's a great day to get creative and lean into your intuition. We use this lunar energy to honor your aha moments in your art journal so you can capture their essence and revisit them whenever you need inspiration or guidance. I'm really looking forward to this particular art journal journey, but you can also just see if you like it as well if you give it a try. So may this week of art journaling with the moon be a reminder that you're capable of growing more good in your life. And may you have as much fun playing with art as you did when you were too young to judge yourself. So the next part of the video is we're going to go through the lunar energy by rising sign. So take out your birth chart, maybe press pause, go find it. If you have it set at the beginning of your art journal, which is a great place to have it, flip to that page so that you can see your birth part according to the whole sign system. Again, there's instructions for that on my site, but we're looking at on Monday that moon being in Libra energy, which I kind of went over and I explained what we're going to be doing with that in your art journal, which is celebrating artistic elements from other people's arts and just kind of getting curious about what you find beautiful. Then on Tuesday, the moon is having a happy relationship with Venus, which, as I said, is in that sign of Leo. So you're going to use that energy to write a love letter to yourself, explaining why you are worthy of the things that you want. On Wednesday, the moon is having a happy relationship with the planet Mercury, and it's a great day to celebrate your past achievements, as I've described. So, create a timeline of your achievements. There are really detailed instructions for each of these prompts on my blog. So if you want to dive deeper into understanding, oh, how might I actually do this in my journal? Let's go and look at that blog post for this week. On Thursday, that moon is moving into the sign of, or is in the sign of Scorpio. And it's a good day that we're going to use to immerse yourself in those good feelings of awe. And then on Friday, the moon is having a happy relationship with Neptune, as I mentioned, and we're creating a background of crystals. And then in each crystal, we're going to write an aha moment you've experienced. And again, I've given some great details about that on the blog, so you might want to go check that out. Now, according to your rising sign, as I mentioned earlier, sorry, I was a little bit fast there. This is actually where I'm going to go through the lunar energy according to your rising sign. And one thing I want you to understand that is that drawing your birth chart in the whole house system, then working with it, that birth chart, as the moon travels through each house in your birth chart, helps you work more closely and personally with the energy the moon is drawing down to you this week. Because every house every astrological house has an area of your life that it's focusing on. So when you're using the whole sign house system, each house will be represented by one of the zodiac signs. So on the birth charts, the houses never change. They're always arranged in this order, but it's the zodiac signs that are in each house that changes. And so, depending what your rising sign is, that's what's in the first house. That will determine all the other signs in all the other houses. The zodiac sign that flavors each house shows you how you tend to approach those areas of your life. So, this week, we're really going to take a look at where Cancer lands on your birth chart because we have some really good lunar energy happening there whenever the moon is having a relationship with Mercury. It's going to draw down that energy of Mercury in the sign of Cancer because Mercury just moved into that sign, but the sun is in that sign as well right now. So it's highlighting that area of your chart. So the zodiac sign of Cancer will flavor one of the astrological houses in your chart. This house will show you the areas of your life you approach in a Cancer kind of way. These areas of your life will be where you tend to be emotion based. There'll also be areas of your life where you'll be more nurturing or you'll want to be nurtured. It's a place where the areas of your life here where you'll feel things more deeply. So you'll make decisions from an emotional place in these areas of your life, and you'll tend to be tied to your home, or you'll want to do whatever's happening in those areas of your life in a way you find comforting. You'll also approach these areas in your life in a way that's you will probably be more sensitive. It's also where you'll want to take care of people or where you'll be more likely to be emotionally reactive, or where your emotions will change based on your external circumstances. These areas of your life will also be where you want to experience a deeper meaning and a sense of purpose, and where you'll be more influenced by the moon because Cancer is ruled by the moon. So, wherever Cancer is on your birth chart, That astrological house represents certain topics of your life. So, certain areas of your life. So, let's say it's in the first house. That means that your rising sign is Cancer, and you tend to approach your personality, your true essence, your body, your vitality with the flavor of Cancer and all of these characteristics. It's also where you'll be able to initiate things, but might have a harder time staying the course in the long term, or where you'd like to be kept busy with a purpose. If your rising sign is Aries, you'll see here that Aries is in the first house, but and the moon this week is moving through your 7th to your 10th house because it's moving through Libra and all the way to Capricorn, which will have the Capricorn full moon next week. And so that full moon is going to be in your 10th house. But this Mercury and Sun energy in Cancer is in your 4th house. So shining your divine self and processing and expressing your emotions when it comes to a creative project or your home, your living situation, or your relationship with your parents, your childhood, your emotional foundation, or your ancestors. If your rising sign is Taurus, the moon is moving through your 6th house to your 9th house. And Mercury in Cancer is in your 3rd house. So here's where the sun is and the planet Mercury. And that 3rd house covers the areas of your life that have to do with communication, your relationship with your siblings or your peers, or your relationship with the goddess or moon rituals. So it can also be neighbors as well. So, and short distance travel. So, this in when you're thinking about these topics, one, you tend to approach those topics with that energy of Cancer. But it's also right now where the sun and Mercury are asking you to shine your divine self there and to process and express your emotions in those areas of your life. If your rising sign is Gemini, the moon is moving through your 5th house to your 8th house this week. And Mercury in Cancer is in your 2nd house. So you're shining your divine self and processing and expressing your emotions in your relationship to money, finances, assets, income, or the way you earn a living, because those are all the topics of the 2nd house. It's also where this is the energy of Cancer, so it's how you tend to approach that area of your life is flavored by that Cancer energy. If your rising sign is Cancer, then the moon is moving through your 4th house to your 7th house this week. And that Mercury in Cancer energy with the sun is in your 1st house. So you're shining your divine self and expressing and processing your emotions and communicating them in your relationship with your body, your identity, your sense of vitality, your appearance, or your spirit. If your rising sign is Leo, means Leo's in that 1st house. So the moon is moving through your 3rd to your 6th house this week. Mercury in Cancer is in your 12th house. So that shining your divine self and processing and expressing your emotions is happening in your relationship with the infinite, your shadows, your deep inner work, your relationship with secrets, your subconscious mind, or your secret aspirations. If your rising sign is a Virgo, the moon is moving from your 2nd house to your 5th house. Mercury in Cancer is in your 11th house, as well as the sun. So you approach the area of your life that has to do with friendships, groups, community, or your hopes and wishes with all those Cancer qualities. And you're also this month, since the sun and the moon are there for, the sun and Mercury are there for a while this week, specifically, you're going to focus on shining your divine self and expressing and processing your emotions in these areas of your life. If your rising sign is Libra, the moon is moving from your 1st house this week all the way to your 4th house, and that full moon energy is going to be in your 4th house. Mercury in Cancer and the sun in Cancer are in your 10th house. So, shining your divine self and expressing and processing your emotions is happening in your career, your reputation, how you see yourself professionally, or your relationship with hard work. If your rising sign is Scorpio, the moon is moving through your 12th house and going all the way to your third house, where that full moon will be next week in your third house. That Mercury in Cancer is happening in your ninth house. So, this house here has to do with long distance travel, spirituality, faith, higher learning, publishing, adventure, or your relationship with enthusiasm and the future. So when you think about these topics in your life, you tend to approach them with that Cancer energy. But this week, you're being asked to shine your divine self there and express and process your emotions in those areas of your life. If your rising sign is Sagittarius, the moon is moving from your 11th house to your second house. And that full moon will be happening in your second house. The Mercury in Cancer energy is happening in your eighth house. So the sun and Mercury are asking you to shine your divine self and process and express your emotions when it has to do with your psyche or your shared money or any debt, financial or otherwise, that you might have accumulated, or your relationship with your taxes, or your relationship with death. So you want to think about how you might shine your divine self in those areas, or even just process and express your emotions. If your rising sign is Capricorn, the moon is moving through your 10th house to your first house. So that full moon energy is going to be in that first house. So you might want to get familiar with the topics or the areas of your life that that first house covers. That Mercury and Sun energy is happening in your seventh house. So, Mercury and the Sun are asking you to shine your divine self and process and express your emotions in your marriage or your close, intimate relationship or any important partnership, or in your relationship with harmony, balance, and compromise. So, you look at those topics and you ask yourself what shining your divine self or processing, expressing your emotions might be needing to happen in that area. If your rising sign is Aquarius, the moon is moving from your ninth house to your 12th house. Mercury in Cancer is in your sixth house. So, Mercury and the sun are asking you to shine your divine self and process and express your emotions when it comes to your health, your work routines, your relationship with a beloved pet, perhaps, or your relationships with details and order. Finally, if your rising sign is Pisces, the moon is moving through your eighth house and going all the way to your 11th house, where the full moon energy will be next week. That Mercury in Cancer energy is happening in your fifth house. So, this is where you're being asked to shine your divine self and process and express and communicate your emotions when it comes to a creative project you're working on, or your relationship with your creativity, or your hobbies, or your sex life, or your parenting, your relationship with your children, or just your relationship with joy and pleasure and celebration or passion. So you just want to look at those areas of your life and consider what you might need to express or communicate when it comes to your emotional realm. I hope you enjoyed those reflections on the lunar energy this week, and we'll see you next week.